Hello and welcome to 60 Seconds to Calm. This is your guide, it's just for moms, and the idea is to give you a tool that you can use in those stressful moments during those times when you are about to lose it, or maybe you already have lost. And it's a way to dial it back and to regain that sense of calm and ease so that you can be the best parent and person you know you want to be. So we've all been there. There's no shame, no guilt. I'm not casting any aspersions here. When your child is pushing every button and somehow they know just how to do that, when you've had one of those days and you're behind on that thing that's due, and you can feel the pressure rising, and you know that you're about to lose it, or maybe you already have lost it, here's some things that you can do. What if you had a tool to stay calm? What if you had a way to regain that sense of composure? And we're not talking about stuffing down emotions and pretending that they're not there. We're all going to have feelings. Your child has big feelings. You have big feelings too. So the idea is to give you a tool so that you can stay calm or recapture that sense of calm, even when you're about to lose it or you're about to blow. It's called the three S's. Now, this is something that I came up with because I think it's an easy thing to remember, SSS, but the idea is that it gives you something that you can keep in your back pocket. You can use at those times when you feel that you are about to blow. So, first S is stop. Second S is soften. And lastly, see. So let's talk about the first S, that's stop. So that means if you feel like you are obliged to keep talking, you want to get that point in, you want to convince the person that they are wrong and you are right, stop. Stop talking, stop yelling, stop explaining. You know that you're right. You don't have to explain it to them. The idea is that in the moment, nobody is able to hear you. If they're stressed out, if they're in fight or flight, where you are, they feel like they're being attacked, or you feel like you're being attacked. So the idea is to interrupt yourself, put your hand over your mouth if you have to, and slow things down. Then you say something out loud like, I'm getting upset right now. I'm going to go take a moment to calm down. I'm going to get a glass of water. Do you want one? I'm going to take some time for myself. I'm going to come back to this conversation. Give me a few minutes. The idea is that we're trying to interrupt the flow because otherwise it's really easy to go from 0 to 60. And we're trying to find those off ramps. So when you realize that you're activated, when you realize that you're triggered, when you're about to do or say something that you will probably regret, stop, pause, so that you can get your brain back online so that you can actually think logically again. Here's some techniques to do that because it's one thing to say, stop yourself. It's another thing to actually have the tools in place so that you can do this. So one easy tool that you can use is called box breathing. And maybe if you've taken yoga classes, you've heard of this. But the idea is that you count to four. So you breathe in for four, you hold for four, you exhale for four, and you hold for four again. And you keep doing that. So it's box breathing because it's four, 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 four. The idea is that you are trying to give your brain something to focus on as opposed to what you're angry about, what you're frustrated about, what you're about to yell about. So you focus on the breath, it calms your system down, it allows you to get your brain back online. Another tool to try is running through your five senses and talking out loud and saying, what am I seeing right now? I'm seeing a computer screen. What am I hearing? I hear a truck outside. What do I smell? I smell a candle. What do I feel? I feel the seat under me and I feel the carpet under my feet. You get the idea. Running through your five senses brings you back to the present. Why is it important to be here in the here and now? Anxiety is all about the future. Depression tends to be about what's in the past. So the idea is that we're trying to bring you here to the here and the now so that you can get yourself back online, so that you can calm yourself down and you can have some more rational and reasonable thinking. Um, Another tool to do this, ABCs and colors. So you can look around the room and look for everything that starts with A, and then B, and then C. So there's an apple on the table over there. There's a bench in the hallway. There's a chair that I'm sitting on. You get the idea. Same thing with colors. Let me look for everything that's blue. Okay, the sneakers are blue over there. My couch is blue. The carpet's blue. Let me look for red. The ball is red. The curtains are red. You get the idea, right? So we're running through these different things that you're seeing to bring you back into the here and the now. We're getting you to the four walls around you so that you can be present here as opposed to assuming and jumping down that rabbit hole and getting all bent out of shape about things that probably are outside of your control. So these are three techniques to try. Next, we have soften. So this is the second S. And keeping this in mind, especially when you're upset at your child, they are needing your help at that moment. They are, if you pretend that you are holding them like a baby, you remember those days when you held them in your arms, and you smelled that wonderful smell. If you can put yourself back in that time, in that moment, tapping into that sense of love that is unconditional that you have and you had for them. Maybe recalling a moment when your child was really sweet with you. Um, if you can kind of document that, keep that in mind for later, that's helpful too. And if you can, acknowledge that your child is showing you that they trust you, that they have a big need, and they trust you to help them with that. Obviously, they're not doing it probably in the most mature way because nobody's mature at this age. And our brains aren't mature, fully mature until we're 25 or 26, which I always thought was kind of scary. But knowing that your child is showing you that they have a need, they're trusting you with those big feelings, and it's our job as parents to help them. Some helpful tips here. Remembering those tender moments, those tender memories, catalog them now. Think about a few times when you just felt really tender, really loving towards your child. Jot it down, put it in your phone, have access to that because obviously when you're upset, it's hard to tap into those moments of tenderness and calm and love when you're really mad. Second of all, do not take it personally. You know, it is easy for folks to assume that why are you doing this to me? You're great with your teacher, with your babysitter, with your grandparents, and you're showing me all this upset. It's almost like you're doing it to me. They're not. If your child is coming to you with their big feelings, they trust you to help them to handle them. So it's actually an honor. Hard to remember that sometimes. I get it. Um, Last thing to remember is that your child needs your love the most when they deserve it the least. So when they are having that hard time, when they're giving you um, pushback, when they're not cooperating, they're showing you, they're waving a big flag saying, I need your help. So not ignoring that, not taking it personally, and doing what you can to help them. Lastly is C. So empathy is your secret weapon. It truly is. So what is the point of what is your child's point of view? Um, what are they trying to convey? And that empathy means you understand where they're coming from, but you don't necessarily agree. I think a lot of folks get tripped up on that, right? They think, well, I need to agree with what my child is saying, and I don't agree, so I certainly can't empathize with them. Not the case. You can see, okay, they have a desire. Of course, they want to eat cheese puffs for dinner. Of course, they don't want to go to bed. They haven't seen us all day. You know, it's that idea you're coming to see where they're coming from without necessarily agreeing. But that allows you to walk with them as opposed to coming at them. Now, how do they arrive at this moment? Are they hungry? Are they tired? Is there an unmet need there? Acknowledging that and using that as a you can be a detective when it comes to your child's hard times. It can be a certain time of day, it can be a certain activity that seems to set them off. Using that as a clue, as a way so that you can really help them. Next is what is it that they need? Maybe they're hungry, maybe they're tired, maybe they're just discombobulated. Do they just need a hug? Do they need some food? Do they need some water? Do they just need to run around after being in class all day? Um, and then what is it that you need? I think as parents, we lose sight of our own needs. We tend to martyr ourselves. We put everybody else's needs ahead of our own, which I think doesn't do us a great deal of good because your child needs you to be in a good place too. It is really hard to be the parent that you want to be, the parent that you want to, expect that your child needs and deserves if you're not taking care of yourself. Self-care, not selfish. Okay, so let's put this all together now. So stop is the first step. So you stop yourself, you interrupt, you slow things down, you take that deep breath. Second is to soften, remembering how you love this person, even if they're making you crazy in the moment. You do love them, you care for them, they're important to you. This is not an insurmountable, this is not going to break your relationship. So getting some perspective. And then seeing their perspective without necessarily agreeing allows you to see their needs. And when you see their needs and identify the needs, you're better able to meet those needs. Okay, if you want all this in one place, I've got a PDF just for you. You can use the QR code here, scan it. That'll be yours to keep. It gives you all the S's, gives you some examples of things to say, gives you some language and some examples. It's a great thing to have. You can pin it up on your fridge. So you're welcome to have that. That's my little gift to you. And I also have an invitation. If you are a mom who feels like they need more support, they need to know that there is a community of folks out there that they can identify with, that get it, basically. I created a group called the Be a Calm Mom group. And it's for moms that want to go from reactive to responsive. Folks that need that extra support. They want a sense of community. They want to have proven tools to use. So they have strategies in mind. So they're not just winging it. This is really, if that feels like you, if you feel like, gosh, I keep messing this up with my kid, or I keep behaving in a way that I'm not really so proud of. This is a group, this is a space for you. It's judgment free. It is designed really to give you the tools and the strategies that you need to be the best parent you can be. But maybe you're thinking, well, I've tried everything, nothing works. And listen, I believe you. I'm sure you've read the books. I'm sure you've listened to podcasts. You've followed the accounts. Maybe you've tried therapy. But what's different about this group and what's different about working with me is that most advice tells you what to do. So they say, do X, Y, Z. But it ignores the most important part. Well, if you can't do that because your nervous system is taking over, because there's a block there that's preventing you from doing what you know you should be doing, this is not rocket science. You're putting the cart before the horse. So I'm not surprised if things happen for you in the past because those approaches aren't really addressing the real need, the real problem. If you feel like um, I don't have the time, well, I would hazard a guess that you're probably spending a lot of time right now uh, losing it and then having to make up for it. So going through this vicious cycle, things take a lot more time. If you explode, your child loses it. Then you have to go calm them down, calm yourself down, go make a repair. It takes a lot of time. So if instead you have um, bi-weekly sessions where you're working with me, where you get these tools in place, so you don't lose it as often. Nobody's perfect. We're not expecting perfection here. Trust me, I get it. I'm a parent too. But the idea is that you have the skill in place that you can practice these things. You have a space where you can come and talk about what worked for you, what didn't work for you. It's an investment of your time, certainly, but I think it will really save you a lot of time in the long run. Maybe you're thinking, goodness, it's a hard time of year. I can't afford it. There's a lot of things going on here. Well, my question to you then is, what is the price of staying stuck? What if nothing changes? What if you're watching this video a year from now and nothing has changed? You're still stuck in the same place. Ultimately, those costs compound. And take it from me, you only have your child with you at home for it is a limited amount of time. So there is a certain urgency, I think, that most parents feel like, well, this is important. I need to handle this now. So I'm also offering you this great discount. Well, I'm offering this for, a limited time. It's 3 months for the price of one. So it's not going to get any better than that. It is a really limited time offer that I'm giving folks because, again, I know it is an expensive time of year, and I'd like to be able to get folks the help that they need during this time in particular. So it is, and if you think about, well, the cost of an individual therapy session, certainly north of $200, maybe even $300, depending on who you're seeing. And this program gives you biweekly sessions with me, so you get concrete answers to your questions. You get to have a library of videos that I created that saves you some time. They're on different topics related to self-regulation, self-control, how to make a repair with your child. So there's a lot of time savings because you can watch videos on your own, you can practice it with your family, and you can come ask me, talk to me about how it's going. I can give you strategies and tips, and we can kind of perfect during the group sessions. So it is really an excellent resource for parents, and I really hope that you're going to take advantage of this time, this limited time discount, because you deserve the support. I got into this business. I hate to call it a business, but I got into this line of work because I really wanted to help moms because I am a mom, and I know how challenging it can be. So I know we need all the help that we can get, right? So you deserve to have the tools that you need, and your child deserves to have a mom that is resourced. So that's my invitation to you. And I think you're going to see a transformation. Instead of exploding at your child or imploding inside and then drowning in guilt afterwards or self-recrimination, you're going to know how to stay calm when it counts. You're going to feel proud of your parenting. And that is ultimately what our kids need. They need us to be in a calm, steady state so that we can best parent them. So if you are ready for more support, if you'd like to work with me for a very special price for a very limited time, I encourage you to snap a picture of this QR code. That gives you the link to give you some more information. If you do have more questions, if you're not quite convinced yet, if you're not sure, but you want to find out more, shoot me an email. I'm at olivia@mommygroove.com. I would love to speak with you. I'd love to answer any of your questions. Happy to do that. And I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the work that you do as a parent. I know that it's hard. It's so rewarding, but it's the hardest job you'll ever have, right? So I think that we need all the support that we can get. So I am here for you. I'm happy to help you, happy to answer your questions. So please do reach out.